Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 28, and now we are on text 19. Sthitam vrijantam asinam shayanam va guhashayam prekshani yehitam dhyayek chuddha bhavena chetasa. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thus, always merged in devotional service, the yogi visualizes the Lord standing, moving, lying down, or sitting within him. For the pastimes of the Lord are always beautiful and attractive. So here the yogi is, this is the perfection of yoga. This is what Lord Kapila Dev has been teaching to Devahuti, that it's not that the yogi is thinking of nothing or that the yogi is sleeping. No, the yogi is fixed his mind on the Lord and he's able to see the Lord, the Paramatma in his heart. Does anyone remember how the form of the Paramatma? How does the Paramatma look? Anyone? No?
4 hands.
That's
the
right.
Vishnu form with the 4 hands holding the conch, shouldering the yellow dhoti.
Yellow dhoti, that's right. 4 hands.
4
What's
hands.
the color?
His color is blue.
Blue. Yes.
Like a lotus flower.
That's right.
Lotus flower. His eyes are also blue.
His eyes are like lotus petals.
Lotus.
Yes.
Yeah, lotus petals. And then
yes.
he is also wearing a jewel. He's wearing the armlets, anklets, and necklace. And he's also wearing a fresh flower garland.
That's right. And do you remember the name of the jewel?
Is it Kastuba or does he wear or no?
Yeah, Kaustuba, yes.
Yeah, Kastuba jewel.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So this is the form of the Lord. The process of meditating on the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within oneself and the process of chanting the glories and pastimes of the Lord are the same. We, in the material world, anything is different. The object is different than the name. As we say, water, water, water. Our thirst is never going to be quenched. We're never going to feel, I don't need to drink water now. I chanted water 108 times, now finished. I don't need to drink water. No, the name, the object and the name is different. But the Lord is absolute. So his name and he himself are the same, non-different. So he himself or his name or his pastimes or his qualities, they're the Lord himself. The only difference is that hearing and fixing the mind on the pastimes of the Lord is easier than visualizing the form of the Lord within one's heart. Because as soon as one begins to think of the Lord, especially in this age, the mind becomes disturbed. And due to so much agitation, the process of seeing the Lord within the mind is interrupted. So you see, if we have to, for half an hour, fix our mind on the form of the Lord, do you think we'll be able to actually, for the full half an hour, no other thought comes in and only we are able to see the Lord? It's a little difficult for us at this stage. There may be some people who can do it, but for the general person, it's a bit difficult. But it's easier if we hear his names or his glories, speak about him, then, half an hour passed, oh, so fast. And it's the same thing. It's the same. So it's easier for the mind to fix on hearing and chanting the glories of of the Lord. That's the reason this is the recommended process for us in Kali Yuga. When there is sound vibrated praising the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, however, one is forced to hear. That hearing process enters into the mind, and the practice of yoga is automatically performed. For example, even a child can hear and derive the benefit of meditating on the pastimes of the Lord simply by listening to a reading from the Bhagavatam that describes the Lord as he is going to the pasturing ground with his cows and friends. Hearing includes applying the mind. So we are telling stories to the children from Krishna book. They're not yogis, they're just children. But by hearing the pastimes, they are fixing the mind on the Lord. So we can see how this hearing process is given to us for our benefit, bringing us to the highest platform. Hearing, okay, in this age of Kali Yuga, Lord Caitanya has recommended that one should always engage in chanting and hearing Bhagavad Gita. The Lord also says that the Mahatmas or great souls always engage in the process of chanting the glories of the Lord. And just by hearing, others derive the same benefit. So one is hearing and one is speaking. Well, one is speaking and one is hearing. Both are benefited. Both are benefited. Yoga necessitates meditation on the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, whether he's standing, moving, lying down, etc. So it's not that the Lord is stationary, that he doesn't move. He moves, lying down, moving, standing. So it comes to mind the prayer that we sing in Damodar month, that, oh Lord, I always want to see you as Bal Gopal within my heart. So one of the classes I had heard, so the speaker was saying not that he's seeing that Bal Gopal in his heart like a statue, not moving. No, he's seeing Bal Gopal performing all the pastimes in his heart. That is the prayer of Satyavrata Muni, to see the pastimes of the Lord in the heart. So by hearing and chanting, that's what we are doing. The mind is engaged. Tasmin labda padam chitam sarvavayava samstitam vilakshyai katra samyuchyat ange bhagavato munihi. In fixing his mind on the eternal form of the Lord, the yogi should not take a collective view of all his limbs, but should fix the mind on each individual limb of the Lord. The word Muni is very significant. Muni means one who is very expert in mental speculation or in thinking, feeling, and willing. He's not mentioned here as a devotee or yogi. Those who try to meditate on the form of the Lord are called Munis or less intelligent, whereas those who render actual service to the Lord are called Bhakti Yogis. So just thinking of the Lord or fixing our mind on the form of the Lord is very good. But higher than that is to engage in service of the Lord. And that's the reason bhakti is the highest, includes everything else. Because then the soul, the living entity, is engaged in his natural position, in the original constitutional position. The thought process described below is for the education of the Muni. In order to convince the yogi that the absolute truth or supreme personality of Godhead is never impersonal at any time, the following verses prescribe observing the Lord in his personal form, limb after limb. So Kapila Muni here is removing all doubt that God does not have a form. He is saying that the Muni, the person who is doing this yoga, what he has to do, he has to fix his mind on the form of the Lord. And that also each particular limb by limb, or the feet, the ankles, the beautiful hands, the beautiful eyes, part by part, and then look at the complete form. So this is all evidence that the absolute truth is not impersonal. To think of the Lord as a whole may sometimes be impersonal. Therefore, it is recommended here that one first think of his lotus feet. So the absolute truth, he has feet. then his ankles, then the thighs, then the waist, then the chest, then the neck, then the face, and so on. One should begin from the lotus feet and gradually rise to the upper limbs of the transcendental body of the Lord. So whenever, even when we are seeing the deity form, we are recommended to begin seeing from the lotus feet of the Lord and gradually raise our eyes, trying to really fix our minds on the beautiful form of the deity. Oh, the lotus feet, there's the anklet is there. There's sometimes chandan, there's tulsi leaves. Then there's so many times there are these toe rings, or the flower. There's like an anklet of flowers. Then the dhoti is there, the beautiful legs. Then the waist part. Like that, gradually raising our eyes to the beautiful face of the Lord. That's the way we should take the darshan of the deity. Did anyone want to add anything or comment on anything that we have been reading? No? Then we'll continue reading. Sanchintayet Bhagavatas Charanaravindam Vajanu Koshadvaja Saroruha Lanchan Nadayam Uttangarakta Vilasan Nakha Chakravala Jyotisnabhir Ahatamahad Dhridayandhakaram. The devotee should first concentrate his mind on the Lord's lotus feet, which are adorned with the marks of a thunderbolt, a gourd, a banner, and a lotus. So the lotus feet of the Lord. If someone says, I'm God, then we should ask them, please show us your lotus feet. And they should have these marks. The Vedas, they have everything. So nobody can artificially say, I'm God or incarnation of God. These are a few of these marks. So I'm not sure, is it that the marks, these are the marks on the Paramatma only? And because Krishna's lotus feet, we know there is, the conch shell is there, the sky, the kahu shoes also there, all that. But these are there, of course, the thunderbolt, gourd. Gourd is that something to use to control the elephant. Thunderbolt to help us control our mind also. If we fix on the thunderbolt, which is there on the Lord's feet, helps us to fix our mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. Banner of victory. That's the flag. The lotus, the splendor of the beautiful ruby nails resembles the orb of the moon and dispels the dark, thick gloom of one's heart. The Mayavadis say that because one is unable to fix his mind on the impersonal existence of the absolute truth, one can imagine any form he likes and fix his mind on that imaginary form. But such a process is not recommended here. Imagination is always imagination and results only in further imagination. So now if I just make up, say, and I say, oh, you imagine anyone to be God, you imagine any form to be God, and you think, fix your mind on that. But then I'm just encouraging you to waste your time. You're not going to reach anywhere because it's still on the mental platform. Imagination is to do with the mind. It's nothing spiritual. So it's not going to help us get out of here, of the material world. It's not going to help us to understand the truth. So we have to hear from the scriptures. That's the reason. We have to hear from the scriptures and follow what the scriptures are telling us. A concrete description of the eternal form of the Lord is given here. The Lord's soul is depicted with distinctive lines resembling a thunderbolt, a flag, a lotus flower, and a gourd. The luster of his toenails, which are brilliantly prominent, resembles the light of the moon. So the Lord does not need to go for a pedicure, but his toenails are all shining because he is the source of the Brahma Jyoti. He is the source of all light. So his toes are resembling like the light of the moon. If a yogi looks upon the marks of the Lord's soul and on the blazing brilliance of his nails, then he can be freed from the darkness of ignorance in material existence. Our heart right now is full of ignorance. Why? Because we have forgotten our true identity. Each of us have a true identity, but we have completely forgotten that. And we are thinking we are the body. We are thinking we are matter. We have forgotten that we are the soul, eternal part and parcel of God. But by fixing our mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, by fixing our mind on the light which is coming from the toenails of the Lord, then the darkness in our heart will be eradicated by the light coming from the toenails of the Lord. This liberation is not achieved by mental speculation, but by seeing the light emanating from the lustrous toenails of the Lord. In other words, one has to fix his mind first on the lotus feet of the Lord if he wants to be free from the darkness of ignorance in material existence. So if we want liberation, we have to fix our mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. Now someone will say, it's so easy. I don't believe it. How can getting liberation just by fixing mind on the lotus feet of the Lord and I'll get liberated? No. There has to be something more difficult. There has to be a lot of difficulty, and then only I will get liberation. It can't be such an easy thing that just think of the lotus feet of the Lord. But it is. We just have to accept it and follow it. And because it's not easy to fix the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, people just say, oh, it's too easy and that's why I don't want to do it. Actually, it's not easy. Our mind goes everywhere. It wants to think of everything else except the Lord. So it's not really easy, We have to train the mind by suitable practice and detachment. Because many people say, no, this is just for low-class people. It's just for people who are not educated or people who don't have the knowledge. Only for them. I'm going to go to the path of extensive study or difficult austerities. No, because it's not easy to fix the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. So then we are making excuses. But that's all we need to do. Fix our mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. It's repeated everywhere, again and again. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, you fix your mind on me and then you do your duty. And the easiest way that we can fix our mind on the Lord is by hearing and chanting. When we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, then it is easy for us to fix our mind on the Lord. Especially kirtan. If we do kirtan, it binds the Lord in our heart, in our mind. It's difficult for the Lord to then run away. By doing kirtan, the devotee, he binds the Lord with the ropes that the Lord is not able to break away. So kirtan is important. That's the Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan. Yeah. Did you want to add anything, anyone?
As you said that we should concentrate our mind, and while chanting also, that I've tried that what we read in Krishna book, what we have read, then if our mind is running somewhere, then that is really helpful that we can remember. Like how Krishna was such a big savior that Putna came to kill, and he still gave her the position of the mother, and how we can remember what we have read. So we need to read, because if we will read, then we will remember what to bring to our mind at that time. If we haven't read, then we don't know what we want to, So while chanting, if mind is running somewhere, then that's really helpful. And then we know that, yes, these are the Lord's pastimes. Because so I just felt, yeah.
Thank you. Your voice is breaking a bit. But
I don't know why my connection, maybe my connection, I don't know
now
today,
it's better.
2-3 times it's
Okay, now
happened.
it's better. Now it's better.
Okay, okay.
Okay, yeah, but yes, very, very nice. Thank you. It's true. And so that's why it's important to hear. When we are hearing, then it gets easier to chant. You know, when we have heard and heard enough, then we will be able to chant. So that's why hearing is so important. Yes, thank you.
And I believe, yeah, Kirtan, really, you can get your mind more fixed also. Because, you know, the
Thank you.
Kirtan,
That,
yeah, it's soothing to the ears. And that's how I think, you know, then you can concentrate better. I mean, I think for me, I like Kirtan, so maybe that's why.
no, it's the process. It is the recommended process. Kirtan. Sankirtan, yes, it's true. And because also you will notice that if you have done kirtan, then during the day, you know, the mind will keep repeating the kirtan.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
you're
what
like,
happens. Yeah,
yeah. You know, during the day, then the kirtan is there in the mind. So Krishna is there, then, you know, he's bound by the kirtan. So it's recommended kirtan, regular.
Yeah, because we go on humming then, you know, like throughout the day, because it stays in your mind.
It's true. So
Yeah,
this is
because
true. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, because some people say that, you know, I'm not able to remember Krishna whole day. How can I remember? But as it is given by so many devotees that it is the easiest that while you are like for a housewife, while you're cooking, while you're cleaning, while you're doing anything, and if you're working, then yes, after every, you can just set up that after every half an hour you'll say Hare Krishna, or when you get up from the chair you'll say Hare Krishna, or like when you go out of your house you will definitely bow down and go, and when you come back to your house you will definitely bow down to your Krishna. So you are going out of your house maybe twice or thrice a day, so at least you are bowing down 6 more times. So we have to make those, you know, like rules for us that yes, I'll try, and if we try, then Krishna help us. So by that we can remember whole day, like same as with the kirtan. If we do kirtan, then those melodies come to our mind that attract us. And yes, as you said, that that's the process. Yes, that is the process, that we should clean our heart, and maybe with what conscious we are coming to the class. So that 5 minutes kirtan put us in the right conscious, Krishna conscious, not right, but Krishna conscious. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And also, so this goes to show, you know, that the mind actually can rest only in Krishna. Mind, if anything material, it's not going to rest. It will keep on racing, racing, racing. It's not going to find peace in anything material. But when it comes to Krishna, then the mind can rest. That's the goal. That's what the mind is looking for. Initially, it refuses to do it, but the more we, as you said, you know, determined to do it, gradually, the mind also realizes, understands, oh yes, this is my shelter. This is where I find peace. And the mind can find peace only at the lotus feet of the Lord. No one, nowhere else. No, nothing material can hold the mind, can give that peace to the mind. Yeah. So with that, let's stop here for today.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for all your...
Thank you. I just wanted to say that you've put it in a very, very beautiful line. The last line is really important and beautiful, that the mind can only rest on the lotus feet of Krishna. Yeah. This is really beautifully put. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Because earlier when we read it in Bhagavatam, I forgot where it was, and it was one of our CBA questions, you know. So I remember studying that verse somewhere, I forgot now where, I think it's Canto 2 or something. And it was one of our CBA questions. So that's why I just remember it.
This is really beautiful and important line. If we remember this, that our mind can rest only on the lotus feet of Krishna, and then we need to understand, only then we can apply. If we don't know, how will we apply things? Now we know that, yes, what it is, if it is going somewhere, then just take Krishna's name, chant, and it will rest, it will find peace, it will not agitate you more. And yes, that is a fact that when we are angry, it is always recommended when we are angry,
This is
when
my
we are
personal
sad.
experience also. This is my personal experience. When I'm very upset, I just go to the altar and I start chanting and actually forget what I was upset about. Because it's in the back of my mind. I wouldn't deny that, but yes, but at least, for that time that, that agitation, that anger, that, like that irritation is like smooth. It's just subtle.
And then, maybe we could have reacted in some way at that moment, but by chanting, we just get it balanced and we don't harm ourselves and others by reacting in a wrong way.
Yes, Jay, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all this encouraging experiences.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.